back again with our Veritas. So as you can see, I've made some lines, and those lines are going on forever and ever. And I know that there have been a lot of questions about how do I make those lines stop. And so I wanted to make a video to show you how to do what we call restrictions. So I'm going to deal with just the orange line first. And so I'm going to turn off the purple line and the green line. We'll deal with those in a moment. I can see when I turn on my Veritas that I want my orange line to stop at this point right here, right? So I'm going to go, and I know that I have to go between here and here. So I'm going to trace my pen all the way down to where it is on the x-axis, and I can see that it's -20. So I'm going to put curly brackets. That is the bracket next to the P key. So you see UIOP, and then you see that curly bracket. So I'm going to press Shift to get to that one. And I knew that it was -20. And then I want my x's to be bigger than that. So I'm going to press less than x. This reads x is greater than -20, which is true, and it chops off my line right there at -20. Right? This is a domain restriction. We're restricting the x values. Okay? And I want it to go from -20. I'm going to put my smaller number first, always. And I want it to go from -20 to about +20. Right? So I'm going to say, okay, +20. Notice that when I had 2 there, it just went to 2. If I had put 12, it would go to 12. If I put 30, it would go to 30. Right? Oh, not 130. If I put 30, it would stop at 30, or maybe 22 we can see. Let's try that 20 that we thought, and that is absolutely the right number. So I can see when I turn it off, I have just the line that goes from -20 to +20. Okay, so that is a vertical line. On our horizontal lines, I'm sorry, that's a horizontal line. Now on our vertical lines, we can't really go from -20 to -20. That seems kind of silly. So we have to restrict it on the y-axis. So when I'm going to turn off my Veritas, I'm going to say, okay, I want it to go from here, right? So that's the bottom. I want to start with my smaller number again. I want it to go from, let's see, we're counting by 2, so to 4. I want it to go from 4 all the way up to 20. So I'm going to say, okay, smaller number, curly bracket, 4, and I want to go to 20. And then I have to think of what variable I'm going to use here. That was from 4 to 20 on the y-axis, so I want to use the y key. And I can see that now my purple line goes from 4 to 20. Let's check it out. We've got the side of our Veritas there. Awesome. So this isn't any more complicated when you have lines that look like our green line here, right? But you can actually choose when you have lines that go in 2 directions. Right, so you can either limit it on the x-axis, so maybe from here to here, right, or on the y-axis, from here to the top here. For this one, I don't know that there's a big difference. I'm going to do along the y-axis because I think that's a little bit longer, a little easier to tell. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to use my curly brackets. I'm going to set it up with y in the middle because that's where I'm going to go on my y-axis. And I want it to go from right about maybe 6.5 all the way up to maybe it's a little bit more than 10, so maybe 10.5, right? And that was perfect. If it was maybe let's say I guessed wrong and I put in 11, I see that's too long. I'm going to say, okay, I want to pull it down a little bit. And that is how we put restrictions. You can use the x-axis if you'd like to go on the x, or you can use the y-axis if you would like to cut it off on the y. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.